Welcome student. Now we are going to discuss Indian Economic Development Unit 1 Chapter 2 Indian Economy 1950 to 1990. Before discussing this chapter, let me see the subheadings of this chapter Indian Economy 1950 to 1990. First is the introduction. Last chapter we analyzed the condition of our economy in all the sectors. Almost we observed that the overall growth of our economy, that is in all the sector, was very low. In this chapter we are going to analyze the steps taken by our leaders to improve all the sectors through development policy. After attaining independence, the first problem of Indian leaders had been deciding about the type of economic system most suitable for our nation. A system which would promote a welfare of all rather than a few. So first is what is an economic system? The way an economy solves its basic problems of allocation of resources is called its economic system. There are different types of economic system. The important are capitalism and socialism. Capitalism, an economy which allocate its resources according to market forces of demand and supply, and where there is private property, it is called capitalism. And next is the socialism, an economy in which it is the government that takes decision regarding allocation of resources and there is no private property, everything is under government control. Among the two types of economic system, our national leader Nehru and many other leaders and thinkers combined the best features of both socialism and capitalism and decided to follow mixed economic system in our India. What is a mixed economy? An economic system where public and private sectors coexist and which tries to get the merits of both the system is called economic mixed economy. Britain left India as a stagnant and depleted economy along with the problem of partition. All these call for a planned effort for development. If government would have left things in the hands of private sector, they would have given least importance to mass poverty, unemployment and a major section of the country would have suffered. We needed an integrated effort with macro level planning, which only government could do through economic planning system. Therefore, India opted for planning. In 1950, the Planning Commission was set up with the Prime Minister as a chairperson. The first important goals of FIRE plan is economic growth. Economic growth refers to increase in the country's capacity to produce the output of goods and services within the country. The good indicator of economic growth is steady increase in the GDP. The main objective of planning is to rapid increase in production of goods and services. It should lead to not only growth of national income but also per capita income. It means the level of production should increase faster than the increase in population. The rapid increase in production is possible by growth of agriculture, industrial sector and service sector. The contribution made by each of these sectors make up the structural composition of the economy. Next is the equity. The gap between the rich and poor should decrease. Planning aims at reducing inequalities of income by more production and fair distribution of income. This is called growth with social justice or growth with equity. In other sense, equity also implies eradication of poverty so that every Indian is able to fulfill his basic needs at least. Next is the stable growth. By stability, we mean the removal of wide fluctuations in the economic activities. Fluctuations in the price level, wage rate, profit margin, savings rate, etc. have adverse influence on the economy. The removal of these fluctuations helps in raising the standard of living of the people. Next is the modernization. It has two dimensions. In one sense, it means use of latest technology in different production activities. This helps in raising the productivity level, improving the quality of products, and reducing the cost of production. From second perspective, modernization implies changes in social outlook like recognizing the need for equal rights for men and women. As a social modernizers, many social evils, superstitions, high birth rate, etc. comes under control. Next is the self-reliance. It means avoiding import of these goods which can be domestically produced. It was deemed necessary in order to minimize our dependence on foreign countries. This goal was given importance because of bitter experience of the past that East India Company, which had entered India in the name of trade, exploited us for almost 2 centuries.